guys, welcome to Khanvolution. My name is Khan, and right now I'm so hyped and psyched to be checking out episode 2 of Swamp Thing titled Worlds Apart. Now, if you guys haven't checked out my reaction to Swamp Thing episode 1, I'll leave that link in the description below so you guys can check that out. From what I've seen in episode 1, I love the characters, I love the story, I love the direction that this series is taking because it's incorporating so many, like James Wan, well, he's actually the executive producer on this show, but it's incorporating so much of that style of, you know, horror into it. I mean, in the first 5 minutes of the series alone was so freaking amazing, starting off with all that gore and the vines and the use of practical effects and the CGI melded together in such a beautiful, wonderful way. I really enjoyed the first episode. I literally fell in love with the characters, like I said, so I'm very eager to, you know, see more of it. And if they get a season 2 somehow in the future, I would be, you know, so happy, you know, just from, and this is just from my reaction to season 1, you know, so that's a crazy thing. I'm super excited. I'm just happy we still got 9 more episodes to look forward to. So let's go ahead and dive into episode 2, guys, titled Worlds Apart. I cannot wait. Let's start this shit, bro. In 3, 2, 1, son. Oh shit, we're picking up right after last episode.
We can't stop Matt. He could still be alive.
Could he? Well, sheriff's here.
Reason?
Maybe a spark from the engine ignited the fuel tank?
Wait, you think this was an accident?
You should know that Alec Holland was investigating illegal dumping on this swamp. Dumping he thought might be related to this current outbreak.
There is all kinds of awful that happens in this swamp, but I think you know that.
Damn.
Landry!
This whole town feels like it hates
Landry!
Wait, listen, you have to warn your people. I saw something out there on the water. It was something big.
Abby, we get reports of boar in the area all the time.
It was not a boar. It was a man.
A bear.
Yeah, maybe a grizzly wandered all the way down from Canada for the first time ever.
Oh, damn. Look at him. She's awake again. Oh, can she sense him? They're connected? Oh, shit. Wait, where's his body then? Look at that. That is so cool, dude.
Anyway, thanks for letting me stay.
I barely knew Holland, but he seemed like a good guy.
I really liked him, Liz.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
Heard you had a bad nightmare.
He was hurting himself. He doesn't understand what's happening to him.
Who's being hurt?
The man in the dark.
Oh, it's repairing him. What the hell? Oh, was that Shauna? Or like, yeah, it's a dream, so it must have been like Shauna's swamp ghost.
Is that just sleep?
Do you think Alec's boat blowing up was an accident? He was tracking the progress of a disease, and he thought that he was onto something.
And now he's gone.
Suspicious all over.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been 14 years.
Oh, damn. Wasn't expecting this kind of welcome.
Have a drink. You want something to eat? You hungry?
No, I'm actually here in my professional capacity.
I knew that you would do great things.
He knows how to
Avery.
work her. That's for
Hey,
sure.
listen, before we
She
go any
knows how to-
further,
she knows what's
please,
happening.
just, why don't you tell me what I can do for the CDC?
Alec Holland.
Jesus, yes, it's Alec.
Well, I believe that he had some research that could help us cure this disease. I need to get into his lab. People's lives are at risk.
Yes, and if I thought there was anything in there that might help you, I'd be the first to hand over the key.
He's hiding
But I've
something.
invested us.
I could get a court order. If I have to.
But here's what's more important.
The verbal warfare.
Regardless of what happens, I'll still love you.
You know why I'm here. But how can anyone forget the loss of their only child?
You don't, Maria.
You find a way to let it rest.
I can't.
Fine, sit. L'énergie de la terre.
She's some sort of spellcaster.
La profondément. De la scène. Show me.
What the hell? What the hell? Whoa!
What happened? There's been a shift in the balance of the light and the dark. Something's out there. If you trust me like you say you do, you'll let this go.
Oh, the girl's gone.
This is where Alec was staying?
Abby, this is Daniel Cassidy, Ray's resident movie star.
Oh, thanks. This place is just a little side dish for me.
I'm impressed.
We're here about Alec Holland.
Oh.
Yeah, I was hoping I could take a look inside of his room. Did he have a computer? Anything?
You know what? We'll grab a seat upstairs.
Danny, what happened to you on Sunday? We missed you at Roadhouse Jam.
Help yourself.
Oh.
Never mind what happened on Sunday.
What happened on Sunday? Could he be the guy in the hood who shot at Alec?
Well, I got a very exciting entry today. I just got fired. Collect all these boxes, we may be able to stop this thing. So.
Oh, this is just this is from last episode. He was filming.
I've been working with a doctor from the CDC today, Abby Arcane. She's very smart, very driven, and well, she Googled me. So. She's quite lovely.
You good?
Yeah.
You're not gonna do that when we meet Avery Sunderland, right?
No, we got some new characters. Hello.
Jason Woodrue.
Thank you for asking us here.
I beg your pardon?
You told me your accelerant would make things grow faster. But we've also got a hospital full up of people with some kind of crazy green flu.
There's no way that my accelerant is responsible for that. I'm gonna look into it.
No, you gotta fix it. But if my name gets linked with this accelerant mess, things are going to happen that nice people like you never even dreamed of.
Found some down at the South Docks.
Officer Susie Coyle's gone missing from Marine General. She's 9 years old.
Oh, they're from the company. Picking up the accelerant boxes.
Ooh. Well, shit. What's in the box? Come on, Landra. I want to make this as quick and as painless.
What the hell? Holy crap!
Hey, fuck! What are you doing, man? It's Rosie. What are you doing?
Oh my god!
Now!
Oh, hello. Zombie. You gotta get out of there, girl. Holy crap. Didn't she hear that? Yeah. Oh, shit. Oh, no. You gotta go save the girl.
Abby, be careful.
Matt.
Oh, shit, he's alive?
Oh my god, Susie's been here.
Gotta move.
Susie!
Damn, this guy looks scary. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's not gonna work, bro. Healing. It's patching yourself up. Whoa! miss her?
I need you to walk to me, Susie.
It's okay.
Now!
What the hell? The daughter came back, or at least the spirit of the daughter came back?
That creature we just saw.
He told me he doesn't know what's happening to him.
It spoke to you? Can you remember anything else he said?
He said his name was Alec.
Oh man, what a crazy episode 2, guys. Like, damn. We got more information about, like, you know, the Sunderlands, and of course, Mr. Avery Sunderland is trying to work Abby to try make sure she doesn't snoop too much. Of course, which doesn't work. Abby's, of course, snooping to figure out what happened to Alec. And the way that episode just ended, it was absolutely insane. Well, let's go back to the beginning, because in the beginning of the episode, of course, we start off with Abby, you know, trying to figure out what's going on. And she definitely got freaked out from seeing the Swamp Thing initially. And so, you know, the cops came, and we actually find out that the sheriff and Cable are actually related. That's their mother and son. So that's a pretty interesting dynamic. Of course, Cable has a thing for Abby, but Abby's obviously built that connection with Alec. And now at the end of the episode, found out that Alec is actually the one inside there. Or she's not 100% sure yet, but based on what Susie told her, because obviously Susie and Alec have this sort of psychic connection, and we saw that in last chapter too. Well, not with Alec specifically, but with that other version of with her father who turned into that swamp monster, which actually makes me think that maybe the swamp is trying to find like a host, you know, and maybe a host that can sustain the essence of the swamp, so to speak, because I don't think it can just be anybody. So the swamp tried to infect Susie's father in the first place to try and create this sort of swamp avatar, right? But it didn't work out, so then now it infected Alec, and that's why he has that greater connection with Susie. We initially saw that connection with Susie's father, but of course he was already dead and probably, you know, too far gone, and obviously the infection maybe didn't run its course on him properly, or as the swamp wanted it to happen, whereas Alec was just directly in the heart of the swamp, getting the full energy and force of it infused within his body. I don't know, this is just me thinking off the back of my head, but it's definitely a crazy cool concept. I love that, you know, Susie's introduced. Her introduction into the series kind of reminds me of Eleven from Stranger Things, but oh well. And I love that it's through her and Abby that Alec are finally meeting together, and I'm glad they're not, like, you know, hiding it off for like a few episodes. Boom, episode 1 gave us the rise of Swamp Thing, or like Swamp Thing coming into life, and episode 2 shows him in action, and Abby and already figuring out, or at least getting hinted to the fact that it is Alec. And let's not lose sight of all the, you know, crazy supernatural other phenomenon besides the swamp. Well, actually the swamp is kind of incorporated into it, but, you know, obviously Mariah Sutherland goes to visit that you know, I'm guessing she's like some sort of spellcaster, or, you know, fortune teller or something like that. That's what it seemed like, you know, and she was able to summon back the spirit of the Sunderland's daughter, and now she's living with the mother. I mean, you don't see something wrong with that? It's crazy, dude. But like the Alec's replacement came, and then of course we get to see Avery Sunderland's real, you know, personality come out. He's scared of, you know, being caught up, lawyer suits, you know, lawsuits and stuff, and of course, you know, being sent to prison, because he's the one behind all those, you know, chemicals and those formulas being dumped into the swamp. And you see those two guys who literally are willing to kill to you know, retrieve those boxes so that there's no evidence linking them back to the Avery Sunderland. So that's crazy. And of course even they were scared, because Avery's gonna kill them if they don't perform this job correctly, and ultimately it didn't work out too well for him, you know what I'm saying? Of course that other guy got away. The way the vines worked, and like the blood and the gore you see in this episode, it's like they're not holding anything back, and the depiction of the swamp, and like the elements of like the horror, you know, being chased by a machete, you know, Susie and stuff, that's just cool, man. And the swamp, you see that Swamp Thing healing himself, and you know, like he's realizing more of his abilities and his powers. But I wonder how much of Alec is still in there, you know? That's crazy. I wonder if he was able to recognize Abby or not. I don't know, man. But like, you know, when he was trying to rip himself apart, he's just, you know, horrified at what he's become. Obviously the swamp heals him, so his power is the most powerful it is in the swamp. I don't know if he'll actually walk amongst the city members or walk into the city at some points, and does that make him weaker? It's just this series is so cool. I really hope that by some miracle the series comes back, but for now we got these, you know, next few episodes to enjoy, and maybe, who knows, maybe the series will end in a way where it doesn't require a series 2 to take place, you know. Now, if you guys have been paying attention to the DC news and, you know, news from Warner Brothers, you'll know that unfortunately this series is not getting renewed for a season 2. In fact, the series has been canceled. Not to say that the next 9 episodes that we have yet to watch won't be coming out. They're coming out, you know, on a weekly basis until episode 10 is done. However, the series was canceled, and if you read some of the news that has been going around, I read a couple of the articles, I'll leave their links in the description below, but the main reason, or the main reasons, some articles say that the reason the show is canceled was because of creative differences between some of the executive producers and, you know, the staff and the studio and the direction of Swamp Thing. I don't think that is the case, because I just, for most part, it looked like the critics and the fans loved the direction that episode 1 was taking. You know, it got 92% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is quite higher than what the rating was for some of the Netflix Marvel TV series, you know, so that's quite surprising. The story that I believe is more accurate is, you know, the one involving the money, because for those of you who don't know, this series was actually shot in, I believe, North Carolina, and season 1 actually cost like about $80 million, and they were actually about to get half of that back from tax rebates. Basically, they were about to get $40 million back. But however, in some of the paperwork, there must have been a miscommunication, because $40 million wasn't actually the promised amount, or it was the promised amount, but they can't deliver it because of that miscommunication. Now, because of that, North Carolina has promised to reimburse them like $12 million, which, you know, is no small sum of money, but it's not the $40 million, which goes to cover all the costs of the season 1 filming, right? And so that being said, I guess DC is trying to cut their losses right now and, you know, cancel the series before they have to pay more out of their pockets, because that money that they, you know, the state cannot pay is obviously gonna come out of the studio's pockets. And for that reason, they're canceling the series, which I would assume that if it was another streaming service, they would have probably been able to make up for the loss. But since the DC streaming service is still fairly young, they only got Titans, which is awesome, Doom Patrol, which is awesome, and this is barely the third original series. They still have a long way to go to build up a backing, but it's, you know, it's a DC streaming service. It's such a very niche environment that I feel like canceling a show like this, which is already gaining quite a lot of fans and popularity, is really gonna harm them in the long run. But that's just some of my opinions. So you guys can actually leave down in the comments, what do you guys think about this cancellation, and do you think, you know, they'll renew it? I really hope that maybe, if at least, you know, this is actually my way of supporting the series, hashtag save Swamp Thing, you know, like, and even if they don't, DC streaming service doesn't pick up, maybe like, you know, another streaming service like Netflix or another channel might be willing to pick it up, because if I feel like this series is a potential gold mine for you know, especially like, you know, for DC fans in particular, you know. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep supporting the series this way with reaction videos and of course spreading the news. What did you guys think of episode 2? Leave your comments down below. As always, if you guys enjoy watching these videos with me, please hit a like, please subscribe, please share the video, and of course, you know, tweet out hashtag save Swamp Thing if you guys like Swamp Thing as much as I do right now, because that's so good, dude. So until episode 3, which airs next Friday, I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful night wherever you are, and bye. Thanks again for watching, and if you enjoyed this reaction, please leave a like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you later.